Welcome to A Foreigner in the Philippines. Good evening. It's getting quite late now, but I just wanted to do this last video, which is in our relationship series, and it kind of looks at everything all rolled into one. In fact, Beth gave me the title of this, and she has here, she's got written down Love, Money and Love and Death in the Philippines. So life and death in the Philippines, with love, money and everything else all wrapped up in there. And so it's one of those things that you're going to have to look at. There's a lot to attend to when you start to talk about death in the Philippines. It's not a subject that my wife will allow me to talk about, because it seems too confrontational to her. Why would we talk about that when we don't have to? Well, the rest of us, foreigners that is, know that some arrangements have to be made and some agreements have to be made. And we even have a Till Death Do Us Part video where we did make a joke about it, and we talked about the fact that I wanted to be cremated. And even that here is not a common thing. Here they put the body in the ground, which is to me a horrifying thought. So I'm all fixed up. I know that my wishes to be cremated will be adhered to. They will be granted. Those wishes will be the rule. Now, you need to, if you have got older children and they have a claim on you, you need to have worked that out as well. So there's a will that's needed, and as we know, where there's a will there's a way, and where there's a will and there's a way, there'll be a way of going against the will that you have. So you need to have all of your ownerships sorted out. And for those of you who are leaving behind a piece of property which will be divided by the children that you have, who are obviously will all be grown up now. Now you need to have them taken care of if you have that kind of relationship with them. Now, it may be that you don't have that relationship, but you need to be able to know that what you leave will go to the woman who perhaps is the last one who has ever stood by you. As you may already know, if you're talking to your existing family about coming out here and possibly marrying a Filipina who may or may not be a lot younger than you. It won't, I know that it should be that, I know that when I had to confront my parents getting divorced, that they didn't get divorced, they got separated after 35 years of being together. And I remember that my mother's sense of loyalty to my father didn't make any sense to me, because it really hadn't worked, and right at the end it was a bitter separation. Now, my mother later was working in a convalescent home for coal miners, and she met a man who absolutely adored her and would have done anything for her. Now, he had a good pension, and he had a nice, what in the UK they call a bungalow, which is a single floor house, and everything was paid for. He had no debts, he had a very good pension, and a quiet life, and he was a good man. I met him. Now, I was just happy for my mother. I was happy and said, Mom, do it, do it. Even though I knew that my father was leading a very lonely life then. Now, I've spoken to many foreigners coming over who don't have such an understanding with their children, and surprisingly, some children are not comfortable with the idea that their father can go on and have another life, possibly with a young child, and have a loyalty to that new family, which may be beyond the relationship that they have. And if that's the case, you need to have that sorted out, at least in your own mind. Now, for me, I'm a believer in that for the want of a better phrase, for my cosmic family is not always your cosmic family, is not always your blood family on this earth. Sometimes those spirits who you have traveled long knowing may not this time be part of your blood relations. Now, I don't know whether you can relate to this, but sometimes when you meet someone, even though you hardly know them, it seems like you know them more in the first few minutes than you have learned to know your family, your blood relations. And these are the people that, even if you don't speak to them for years, and then get a phone call or call them, within a moment it's as if it was only yesterday that you had a chat. Now, they are a different kind of family, and very often if you come to the Philippines, you may be coming by divine intervention to meet that kind of family. And the family that you leave who didn't care that you were going, well, that's a different kind of family. Now, you have to sort that out for yourself before you come, or at least be reconciled in your own mind. Just know that the family that you are leaving will not always be thrilled with your new life, and it's something that you have to be prepared for. And it can be a bittersweet experience. It can also be a bitter pill, but you have to be prepared for that. And that's something which, well, you're going to have to be there in order to know what's going to happen. And it may not be something which is resolvable in a week. It may take some years in order to be able to reconcile that and get it to a point where everybody's happy. And it may never happen. You may just have to leave stuff behind. And this will not be politically correct. Probably there will be a lot of criticism on this. It happens. So, I wish you well, and if you do decide to come, think everything through. Like my friend used to say, extrapolate. Extrapolate and continue it through. If I keep going like this and I go that way, what will it be like there? And if I go this way, what will it be like there? And if I go back the other way? And all of those visualization trips that you make will help you to come to terms with some of the most unpleasant aspects of finally busting out and doing what's good for you. This is a foreigner in the Philippines. Good luck. Bye for now.